Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Now look around and tell yourself, above all else, I want to see that cedar tree differently. Above all else, I want to see that stocking hat differently. Now you do it, whatever you see. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Look at it. Above all else, I want to see that differently. As you look at it, say, above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see that differently. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today on this snowy, cold, lesson 28 day. It's Sunday for me, but it will be our Wednesday, January the 28th of 2026 lesson 28 in Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. If you're reading through the original edition, the lesson will be about the same. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness from the snowy Ozarks. In front of that Juniperus virginianum over my left shoulder that I planted was back in 1992. Now it's a big old, nice tall tree, probably 30 feet high, maybe taller. Lesson 28, above all else, I want to see things differently. Today we're really giving specific application to the idea for yesterday, which was above all else I want to see. Remember we did that, did you do pretty good just saying that repeatedly throughout the day? Every 15, 20 minutes trying to say it? And then if you forgot for long periods, you start doing it again after you remember? Well, today we just do 6 2-minute practice periods. He'll explain. Let's look at it. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Today we're really giving specific application to the idea for yesterday. In these practice periods, you will be making a series of definite commitments. The question of whether you will keep them in the future is not our concern here. If you are willing at least to make them now, you have started on the way to keeping them, and we are still at the beginning. You may wonder why it is important to say, for example, above all else, I want to see this table differently. In itself, it is not important at all. Yet, what is by itself, and what does in itself mean? You see a lot of separate things about you, which really means you are not seeing at all. Wow, catch that. He says, in itself, it is not important at all. Yet what is by itself? And what does in itself mean? You see a lot of separate things about you, which really means you are not seeing at all. You either see or not. When you have seen one thing differently, you will see all things differently. The light in you will see in any one of them. The light you see in any one of them is the same light you will see in them all. When you say, above all else, I want to see this table, let's talk about a table, he says. When you say, above all else, I want to see this table differently, you're making a commitment to withdraw your preconceived ideas about the table and open your mind to what it is and what it is for. You are not defining it in past terms. You are asking what it is rather than telling it what it is. You're not binding its meaning to your tiny experience of tables, nor are you limiting its purpose to your little personal thoughts. You will not question what you have already defined. Very important idea. That's why our lesson 1 began with, I do not know what anything means. You will not question what you already defined. We want to have that open mind of, I don't know what things are meaning. And the purpose of these exercises is to ask questions and receive the answers. In saying, above all else, I want to see this table differently, you are committing yourself to seeing. It is not an exclusive commitment. It is a commitment that applies to the table just as much as to anything else, neither more nor less. You could, in fact, gain vision from just that table if you would withdraw all your own ideas from it and look upon it with a completely open mind. It has something to show you, something beautiful and clean and of infinite value, full of happiness and hope. Let's read that sentence again. It has something to show you, something beautiful and clean and of infinite value, full of happiness and hope. Hidden under all your ideas about it is its real purpose, the purpose it shares with the universe. In using the table as a subject for applying the idea for today, you are therefore really asking to see the purpose of the universe. You will be making the same request of each subject that you use in the practice periods, and you are making a commitment to each of them to let its purpose be revealed to you, instead of placing your own judgment upon it. We will have 6 2-minute practice periods today in which the idea for the day is stated first and then applied to whatever you see about you. Not only should the subjects be chosen randomly, but each one should be accorded equal sincerity as today's idea is applied to it, in an attempt to acknowledge the equal value of them all in their contribution to your seeing. As usual, the application should include the name of the subject your eyes happen to light on, and you should rest your eyes on it while saying, above all else, I want to see this, and whatever you're looking at, differently. Each application should be made quite slowly and as thoughtfully as possible. There is no hurry. Okay? So we're taking 2 minutes, but there's no hurry while we're doing it. Just look around yourself. telling yourself, above all else, I want to see that and whatever you're looking at differently. Okay, well, let's go look in our text reading now. We are in chapter 3, the innocent perception, the last section of section 3, which is Roman numeral 7, creating versus the self-image. Creating versus the self-image. Every system of thought must have a starting point. It begins with either a making or a creating, a difference we have already discussed. Their resemblance lies in their power as foundations. Their difference lies in what rests upon them. Both are cornerstones for systems of belief by which one lives. It is a mistake to believe that a thought system based on lies is weak. It is a mistake to believe that a thought system based on lies is weak. Nothing made by a child of God is without power. It is essential to realize this, because otherwise you will be unable to escape from the prison you have made. Wow, all of our thoughts have power. And even though they may be incorrect, or he calls them lies here, untruths, not according to truth, we still defend them and make a whole world that makes them seem real. Did you watch that Satguru video I pointed out yesterday? Because he really made it simple, didn't he, about effortless meditation, just realizing everything's an illusion and just sit and be at peace. That sure rings true of our introduction Course in Miracles. Nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Okay, paragraph 2 in creating versus the self-image. You cannot resolve the authority problem by depreciating the power of your mind. To do so is to deceive yourself, and this will hurt you because you really understand the strength of the mind. You also realize that you cannot weaken it any more than you can weaken God. The devil is a frightening concept because he seems to be extremely powerful and extremely active. He is perceived as a force in combat with God, battling him for possession of his creations. The devil deceives by lies and builds kingdoms in which everything is in direct opposition to God. Yet he attracts men rather than repels them, and they're willing to, in quotes, sell their souls in return for gifts of no real worth. This makes absolutely no sense. But remember, the power of the mind can take a lie, something that's not true, and make it seem like it's powerful enough to defend and live according to. That's why we want to get our mind straightened out, so we're not in prison any longer with all these erroneous thoughts. Paragraph 3. We have discussed the fall or separation before, but its meaning must be clearly understood. The separation is a system of thought, real enough in time, though not in eternity. All beliefs are real to the believer. The fruit of only one tree was forbidden in the symbolic garden. And of course, he's referring there to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 17, where he was told to don't eat of the fruit of the certain, I forget how the passage goes, but that's what he's referring to out of Genesis 1:17. The fruit of only one tree was forbidden in the symbolic garden, but God could not have forbidden it, or it could not have been eaten. If God knows his children, and I assure you that he does, would he have put them in a position where their own destruction was possible? The forbidden tree was named the tree of knowledge. Yet God created knowledge and gave it freely to his creations. The symbolism here has been given many interpretations, but you may be sure that any interpretation that sees either God or His creations as capable of destroying their own purpose is in error. Their own, it was capitalized, referring to our oneness with God, the atonement, the purpose of love. Paragraph 4. Eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge is a symbolic expression for usurping the ability for self-creating. This is the only sense in which God and His creations are not co-creators. The belief that they are is implicit in the self-concept, or the tendency of the self to make an image of itself. Images are perceived, not known. Knowledge cannot deceive, but perception can. You can perceive yourself as self-creating, but you cannot do more than believe it. You cannot make it true. And as I said before, when you finally perceive correctly, you can only be glad that you cannot. Until then, however, the belief that you can is the foundation stone in your thought system, and all your defenses are used to attack ideas that might bring it to light. You still believe you are an image of your own making. Your mind is split with the Holy Spirit on this point, and there is no resolution while you believe the one thing that is literally inconceivable. Okay, let's back up to sentence 10 again. You still believe you are an image of your own making. Your mind is split with the Holy Spirit on this point, and there is no resolution while you believe the one thing that is literally inconceivable. That is why you cannot create and are filled with fear about what you make. So we want to get reunited with the Holy Spirit's opinion or viewpoint of who we are, instead of an image that we made that we're trying to keep pumped up by all these ideas that we don't let come into awareness, or ideas that we put there that are made rather than created, as we understand the two differences now. Paragraph 5. The mind can make the belief in separation very real and very fearful, and this belief is the, in quotes, devil. Okay, what's the devil? The mind can make the belief in separation very real and very fearful, and this belief is the devil. It is powerful, active, destructive, and clearly in opposition to God, because it literally denies His fatherhood. Look at your life and see what the devil has made. But realize that this making will surely dissolve in the light of truth, because its foundation is a lie. Your creation by God is the only foundation that cannot be shaken, because the light is in it. Your starting point is truth, and you must return to your beginning. Much has been seen since then, but nothing has really happened. Yourself is still in peace, even though your mind is in conflict. Isn't that something? Yourself is still at peace. Yourself is still in peace, even though your mind is in conflict. You have not yet gone back far enough, and that is why you become so fearful. Remember, we're following our source back. Hopefully, we're going to get better and better at meditating, and we're going to go back further and further to the cause, which we're going to realize that the only cause we ever had was love. And we're still functioning that. We just got it kind of twisted around and we haven't gone back far enough to see that underneath it all is the will to extend God's love, as we were created, as God extended His love to us. You have not yet gone back far enough, and that is why you become so fearful. As you approach the beginning, you feel the fear of destruction of your thought system upon you, as if it were the fear of death. There is no death, but there is a belief in death. And the last paragraph, 6. The branch that bears no fruit will be cut off and will wither away. Of course, he's referring to something that Jesus had said when he was, it's recorded in John chapter 15, verse 2. The branch that bears no fruit will be cut off and will wither away. Well, be glad. The light will shine from the true foundation of life, and your own thought system will stand corrected. It cannot stand otherwise. You who fear salvation are choosing death. Life and death, light and darkness, knowledge and perception are irreconcilable. To believe that they can be reconciled is to believe that God and His Son cannot. Only the oneness of knowledge is free of conflict. Only the oneness of knowledge is free of conflict. Your kingdom is not of this world because it was given you from beyond this world. Only in this world is the idea of an authority problem meaningful. The world is not left by death, but by truth. The world is not left by death. Remember that one. The world is not left by death, but by truth. And truth can be known by all those for whom the kingdom was created and for whom it waits, and that would be all of us. Okay, let's see what's going on around the world today. It's new moon, and as such, it's the beginning of Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum. And of course, you would, if you were Islamic, you would answer, or speak in Arabic, you would answer alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum and alaikum assalam. Peace be with you and peace be with you. Feast of St. Thomas Aquinas, the 13th century theologian and probably a mystic too. American Immigration Lawyers Association Day of Action. I expect they're kind of busy these days. Christy McAuliffe Day, Daisy Day, Global Community Engagement Day, International Lego Day, International Reducing CO2 Emissions Day, Library Selfie Day, Army Day, Blueberry Pancake Day, Data Privacy Day, Kazoo Day, Pediatricians Day, Pop Art Day, and Rattlesnake Roundup Day. Won't be many rattlesnakes out in this weather, would there? And Rubber Ducky Day. And let's see. I wanted to tell you about, we've talked about growing corn and, the three sisters of the Iroquois, the corn, beans, and squash. So we've talked about corn, and we've talked about several different beans. We've just talked about green beans at this point. But let's talk about a squash. You've got your tall layer, your corn, which becomes a trellis for other plants. And sunflowers work too. I'd recommend planting some of those in your field. But your vine plants, your squashes, they grow and they preserve. They shade the ground so it doesn't get so hot, it doesn't dry out so much. So they all have a really good purpose, growing together and eating together, complete proteins. Your beans and corn, grain and a legume, is a complete protein. And then a lot of calories in your squashes. So the Waltham butternut, and it's a Cucurbito machata. And it says of the Waltham butternut, this is out of Seed Savers Exchange. This butternut, an All-American selection winner in 1970, was the result of years of patient refinement and selection by Professor Robert Young of the Massachusetts Agricultural Experiment Station in Waltham, Massachusetts. It is prized for its straight neck, rich and dry yellow-orange flesh, nutty flavor, and high-yielding vines. Fruits are 3 to 6 pounds and exceptional keepers. One of those most popular types of baking squash, 83 to 100 days. Waltham butternut. And it looks like, that's about all there is about it. That's out of your Seed Savers Exchange. Okay, are we ready? Oh, and our word for peace, we're going to take it from the Hudson Valley and all those tributaries. It's a big valley too. You know, it includes it's the Mohican people that lived in New York, Massachusetts, Waltham butternut country, Connecticut, Vermont, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. And the word for Mohican, it means waters that are never still. And the word for peace is Anachemowegan. Anachemowegan, if I'm pronouncing it properly. And if you're a Mohican or can speak Mohican and I'm not saying it properly, do send me a link to how to pronounce it. Okay, well let's close with our song again. And Anachemowegan be with you. Peace be with you in Mohican. Let's do one of our 2-minute practice periods. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Okay, now look around. Above all else, I want to see differently. 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 You fill in the blanks. Above all else, I want to see differently. Just above all else, I want to see differently. Above all else, I want to see differently. Above all else, I want to see differently. Above all else, I want to see above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Anachemowegan, peace be with you in Mohican. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Anachemowegan.